41 years ago, before NIL deals, before transfer portals, there was a team in New York that didn't just win games, they took hold of the city. The 1984-85 St. John's team, led by a kid from Brooklyn named Chris Mullin. They were unselfish, they were tough, they had a style that felt like New York. Led by Lou Carnesecca, they didn't just represent the school, they represented the feeling of pride in this city. So let's go back to when the Johnnies carried New York with them, all the way to the Final Four. A look back at their run to the Final Four, as CBS News New York was along for the journey.
St. John's is in the final stretch to the Big East Conference title. If they beat Georgetown tomorrow night, the Red Men take it all.
The game tomorrow night, honestly, I go way back, even to the great days of City College and NYU. I don't think there's ever been an event that has had the hype that this particular game is.
Today on the Queens campus, the hype was building, and there was no doubt about the outcome.
Who's going to win tomorrow?
St. John's.
You sure?
We're positive. We know it. We're number one.
St. John's has already beat Georgetown once this season, and they've only lost one game. So you might think it's a pretty safe bet that St. John's is going to do it again tomorrow night at the Garden.
With guard Chris Mullin and forward Walter Berry leading the way, no one doubts the Hoyas could have their hands full and their baskets empty. But there's a problem for America's #1 team. It has lost its head.
I've missed one game. That was the Niagara game, which St. John's lost.
The head wasn't there.
The head was not there. The head is not here.
His name is Anthony Giardina. He wears the Indian head that is the Redmen's mascot. Last weekend, someone took the head during the Syracuse game. And unless it shows up soon, Giardina will have to go to Madison Square Garden, literally empty-headed.
Are you superstitious?
I'm really not, but everyone else at school is. And that's why the big commotion has come from the head that we want back.
You think if the head isn't here, something bad might happen tomorrow?
Well, I can only judge from past experience. It wasn't at Niagara, and St. John's lost.
For his part, Coach Carnesecca is taking the head loss in stride. After all, he still has the team's other lucky charm, his legendary victory sweater.
What I actually do now, I just put it on just before the game, and after the game, I take it off, and we put it back in this plastic bag.
Whatever the outcome, St. John's will play to a packed house. All 19,000 seats at the Garden are taken. And look out for the scalpers. There are reports that some $12.50 tickets are going for as much as $400. Randall Pinkston, Channel 2 News, Manhattan.
Only a half hour from Salt Lake City is some of the finest skiing in the world. The slopes which dot the Wasatch Mountains attract millions of visitors. But in town, basketball is king. The NBA Utah Jazz are the only Major League sports franchise in Salt Lake. And college basketball rivalries here are legend.
We live and die basketball here in Utah. Hey, I think we have the best college basketball rivalry by far in the country, Utah-BYU. Anything else is a distant, distant second.
This afternoon, Utah basketball fans had a chance to fall in love with one of the newest teams in town, the Redmen of St. John's. They opened the NCAA playoffs here against Southern University in a most impressive fashion.
Well, I think it's super to have St. John's here, one of the class teams of the nation, the NCAA.
The experts agree that it is a sure depth of talent that has taken the Redmen this far. But it might also be argued that luck has been on the team's side. Before today's game, for example, while other coaches might have been fine-tuning plays in their head, St. John's coach Lou Carnesecca was preparing to debut his latest game sweater, the one replacing his now famous Lucky sweater.
Do you really believe in the luck?
No, first of all, it keeps me warm, which is very, very important. I'm very susceptible to cold.
Meantime, the Redmen players suited up in their uniforms before leaving the hotel for the arena today. We're told that's a fairly new good luck measure, though the players don't seem to put much stock in such things.
I don't feel superstitious about this team. We're just going to have to come out and play.
Tony Giardina says he's not superstitious either. He's the team mascot who a few weeks ago had his Indian head stolen. The new one just arrived, but it was the wrong sex.
We all went to Jerry's room to open it up, and when we opened it up, we pulled it out, and it was a squad. We were all expecting something totally different.
The Redmen not only didn't need a lucky sweater or Indian head today, they hardly needed a basketball as they soundly trounced Southern 83-59.
You know, we made the right plays at the right time.
If the Redmen didn't have a basketball game to play tonight, they might have considered taking a trip west of the city to get a closer look at those snow-topped mountains beckoning in the distance. Or they might have traveled south of town to Pikes Peak. You remember that slogan, Pikes Peak or bust? Or they might have paid a visit to the state capitol building. They called Denver the Golden Dome capital of the West. Or they could have spent their day shopping at the 16th Street Mall in the heart of the city. Instead, they spent their day getting ready to face the Kentucky Wildcats. After a morning film and chalkboard session, the team boarded a bus to McNichols Arena for a closed-door practice.
Louis, I'm sorry, but a lot of people are saying this blue hat looks like it's a Kentucky blue hat.
No, please. And really, color doesn't mean anything.
Oh, it doesn't?
It's what's inside the color.
Okay. You having a good day today?
Well, starting off well.
Yeah.
Beautiful day. We're in the NCAA. Just great.
Walter, what kind of music are you listening to?
A little disco, that's all.
A little disco. Does it help you on game day?
Yeah, it helps me. It relaxes me and, you know, make me feel good before a practice or a game.
Yeah. What are you reading?
Eastern basketball.
Of course, basketball. Is that how you relax on game day?
Whatever. I'm getting used to game day during tournament. I think the whole team is. We know what we have to do. We know what they're going to try to do to us, so let's go out there and play.
The top-seeded Redmen have become a hot ticket item here in Denver. Hundreds of fans camped out last night at the arena with hopes of getting one of only 900 tickets left for the games. These two fans, both from Long Island, got their tickets back in New York.
A once-in-a-lifetime thing to come down here to something like this and really enjoying ourselves.
For those of you still in New York, your ticket to the game will be CBS Sports. Their team has been preparing for tonight's contest as well. A talk with Louis now can enhance Gary Bender's call of the game later.
I've been reading and collecting together with real flesh and blood out here, try to make some sense out of it. And then we have to take it a step further, and that's to talk to the people involved, get their ideas. Not always can you just read and go through all the brochures and really get a feeling for what this game's all about.
Here at the McNichols Sports Arena in Denver, the St. John's Redmen looked adversity in the face, and they laughed. The result was a 16-point win over Kentucky and a ticket to the Western Regional Finals tomorrow against North Carolina State.
The Redmen were expecting trouble from Kentucky's big man, Kenny Walker. Instead, it came from hot shooting guard Roger Harden. His hot hand put St. John's in a 7-point hole. But then the tide started to change. Walker took an accidental poke in the eye from Chris Mullin. And then Mullin went on a shooting spree of his own. Mullin had half his game-high 30 points in the first 20 minutes, and the Redmen led by 1 at the half.
Can't remember a game where Chris took 23 shots.
Well, I think he felt that, you know, sometimes a player feels he has it. And they were giving him a shot. Why not take it?
The second half started like the first for St. John's, badly. Walter Berry got 3 quick fouls to match the 3 called on Bill Winnington. Still, the Redmen didn't panic. Instead, Willie Glass came on to save the day. The Leaper pulled down 9 rebounds and contributed 10 points to hold Kentucky at bay.
I was just roaming around the baseline, and I just snuck up behind him and got in front of him, got a good position, tapped it in, and got the dunk.
So did you feel like maybe they had forgotten about you, but they know who you are now?
Oh, then I noticed near the end of the game, I was getting like boxed out way up by the foul line, but I noticed Walt and Bill was starting to get offensive rebounds, so I think that helped too.
While Berry was in foul trouble, he sure didn't play like it. 22 points and 12 rebounds for Walter.
He didn't play like a man with 3 fouls on him.
Yeah, well, I know me and Willie had to control the balls because Chris was hitting all his shots, and he kept us in on the offensive side, and man, Willie just had to, control the boards.
The end result was an 86-70 win over Kentucky and the chance to play at least one more game. That will be tomorrow against North Carolina State to pit 2 New York Italian coaches in the final.
A game where, yeah, I want to win. I'd like to go back to the Final Four again. But I can honestly tell you, and this is a very sincere feeling, if we don't win, there's nobody I'd rather see in the Final Four, and there's no one that I'd feel happier for than Coach Carnesecca.
He's laid a smokescreen that would cover our entire fleet going through the Panama Canal. So I really don't buy it. I know him, and I think it's good. And please, it's not a Coneseca Valvano situation. It's St. John's against North Carolina State.
The last time Louis and his Redmen made it to a regional final, it was 1979. It was the Eastern region. The site was Greensboro, North Carolina, and St. John's lost to Penn by 2 points. So Coach Carnesecca knows what it's like to come this far and lose, and it's a feeling he does not want to experience again. I'm Fred Wymore for Channel 2 News in Denver, Colorado. This is the calm after the storm in Denver's McNichols Arena, but just a few hours ago, this place was filled to the rafters to watch the Redmen of St. John's earn a trip to the Final Four in Lexington, Kentucky next weekend by beating North Carolina State 69-60 in the Western Region Final.
They kind of, in the first half, gave us a bunch of problems, and we really weren't playing our game. I think we were kind of confident because we really didn't play a good half and we were still up by 1 point.
The Redmen opened another lead to start the second half. Barry following his own miss. He's fouled. The three-point swing made it 37-31 St. John's. Then the most valuable player of the tournament popped this jumper. Redmen by 8 with 5 minutes to go. Mullin with a game-high 25 points.
Always go with your best in there, and he did. You go with your best guys and do or die with them. And thank God they pulled it through.
St. John's got the rest of its points from the free throw line until in the final seconds, Walter Berry slammed the door on the Wolfpack. I got to ask you about the dunk at the end. I've been teasing you all weekend long about your turnaround dunk. You always end up on your behind. I noticed on that one you played it kind of conservative, but it got the point across.
Yeah, I think right now, at this point, I think I'm going to have to learn a new dunk. Because that backwards dunk is just not making it, so I sort of tried something a little different today.
The Redmen win the West, 69-60 over North Carolina State.
If I'm not going to be there, and there's no one I'd rather see than Lou Carnesecca. I don't think there's anybody who deserves to be there more. He's given so much to basketball, and he's such he's just a great guy.
And it's nice in this day and age to see genuine people have good things happen to them.
I should tell that to my wife, Mary.
The Redmen now have a few moments to savor today's win, but the task at hand is not complete. Next up, #1 Georgetown, Saturday in Lexington. I'm Fred Wymore for Channel 2 News in Denver, Colorado.
Given a lot of the outside world a chance to look into St. John's and see what a great school it is.
The reputation is just great right now, and I think everybody all over the country knows us now.
President Reagan is scheduled to visit St. John's on Thursday, and we're told the visit is not basketball related. The president will make a speech about the federal budget and receive an honorary degree from the university. The basketball team won't even be here then. They'll be in Lexington. But there's likely to be plenty of talk about the Redmen and that other team from the city where the president lives and works. I'm Barbara Nevins, Channel 2 News at St. John's.
National championship came to an end tonight here on the Rupp Arena court in Lexington, Kentucky, as powerful Georgetown put a period to the Redmen's season, 77-59. Georgetown dominated from the start, jumping out to a 10-2 lead with Patrick Ewing leading the way. But then St. John's went on a 10-point run. Bill Winnington, who finished with 12 points, was the force. Big Bill passed Ewing. And when Mullin hit this jumper with 5:40 left in the half, the game was tied at 26-all. But Chris would not be a factor tonight. David Wingate shadowed him the entire game. Mullin had only 8 points. The first time in 102 games the All-America did not hit for double figures.
It's been effective against me for the last 3 games. I think that's why they've really come out on top. And, I mean, it cut down my scoring a whole lot, but it also cut down my passing game.
Georgetown led 32-28 at the half, and behind the hot hand of Reggie Williams, who scored a game-high 20 points, quickly opened an 11-point spread. The Hoyas were just too much to handle. And when Ewing capped his 16-point outing with this slam late in the game, the Redmen knew their season was over. 77-59 was the final, Georgetown leaving no doubt as to who was the better team.
I think I have to be somewhat pleased with the performance of the players. I felt that when St. John's made the run at us in the first half, that the kids maintained their composure and continued to play hard.
For Coach Louis Carnesecca, it was a sad goodbye to a team which gave him a 31-4 record and his first trip to the Final Four.
It was a great season, and you always look back and you always think this and that, but when you look at the complete picture and how series with Georgetown. They have a great, great team. And I think that when you lose to a great team, I think you can walk with your head up. I'm very proud of my young people.
The Redmen head back to New York tomorrow, while the Hoyas go on to defend their national title Monday night against Villanova, who beat Memphis State in today's other semifinal game. I'm Fred Wymore for Channel 2 News in Lexington, Kentucky.
And like so many great New York stories, this one did not end up the way we wanted. The dream stopped short by, of all people, future Knicks legend Patrick Ewing in Georgetown. But it was one of the most memorable seasons in New York sports history because that St. John's team did something maybe harder than cutting down the nets. They made a city believe.
Gerald Strawman appears to have isolated incident.